Okay, and we are rolling back with our live coverage, the goRIA fueled by Investment News, live coverage for the CFP Connections Conference 2024. And we have with us Liz Miller, who is the chair-elect for the CFP Board. Liz, thanks for joining us.
Hi there.
All right, I'm excited to have this conversation, and this is my first time coming to one of the CFP Board events. Absolutely thrilled to be here. A lot of energy. I mean, DJ and all, who was kind enough to kind of tone down while we're chatting here. But the music's pumping, and one thing that you just cannot help but notice, so many young people. Let's start with that.
So exciting. This is our first Connections Conference, bringing together a lot of symposiums we've done in the past. And one of our priorities was to invite a lot of the kids from registered programs and have them a part of this, and young professionals that are here. Our current chair, Matt Borson, has taken this piece of our workforce priority to really focus on the next generation. He's the youngest board chair we've ever had.
Yes.
He's crushing it, as we say.
Clearly.
And what we're so excited about here with all the young people that we've attracted is they're going to be in all these different sessions. They're going to hear the academic research, they're going to hear the leadership research, and we hope every one of them gets pumped to follow through and join our career. We know our profession has no future if we can't keep building the ranks in our workforce.
Absolutely. So I had the pleasure of interviewing Matt at FPA National in Columbus a couple of weeks ago, I guess. It doesn't seem like it was very long. Hardly had a chance to unpack my suitcase. But he has done a phenomenal job, and just having someone like Matt, who is the youngest board chair ever for the CFP Board, sends that message. And boy, has he been delivering, because there are a lot of young people here, and our profession really needs that. Unfortunately, I'm kind of the face of our profession, according to Cerulli, as a 56-year-old man. That's the average age of the advisor. And you have this great wealth transfer where we have, depending on who you're listening to, $70, $80 trillion changing hands. Those people need advice, and I think you guys are doing such a great job in backfilling the need for that next-gen advisor. What else are you doing for that?
Well, as you just highlighted, and is certainly part of it, we have a strategic plan with 5 different priorities, and workforce is certainly one of them. And, the next piece to layering on top of all this effort from Matt is I'm going to come in and reinvigorate our messaging and our reach out to women.
All right.
And at a certain point, we sort of shrug and say, really, isn't that old hat? Haven't we done that? And unfortunately, the answer is not. 300,000 financial advisors in the country, under a third of them women. We've passed over 100,000 CFP certificates. We're going to be celebrating that everywhere at this conference. Yeah. Under 25% women. And I think this is low-hanging fruit to a certain extent. I have had such an amazing career. I'm a mother. I'm sort of a career changer. I've led my own firm. It is so satisfying. It is this great profession where, you can do well by doing good. And I think we need to get that message out to more women, both career changers and young women, to tell them more about what this profession really is about and identify why are we not getting more of them to want to join this wonderful profession.
So that's an interesting point. Do you think it's that they don't want to join, or they don't know to join? What do you think?
I think they don't know to join, and I think we have some real perception issues. My reinvigoration of this started maybe 5 or 6 years ago when I was at a luncheon for college students at a Schwab Impact Conference. And every young woman at my table, college juniors and seniors, we were talking about, well, what do you want to do? What are you looking at? They were all talking about support and back office roles. Ooh. Not one of the young women talked about experiences, internships, or desire to be in advisor-facing roles. And when I called them on it, I was just so surprised at the answers. The number one answer is just starting out from college, they think they're going into a sales role.
Yeah.
That is the first one. And I'm not sure why women in particular get turned off by that, but we've got to really tell them what this career is about, what to expect in your first role, what to expect down the road. We all know there is a business development element to wealth management, but I spent the first half of my career as a computer geek. I was in front of the computer the whole time. And I kind of laugh and say, if I learned to build a business, anyone can. But what I really learned is we are delivering a service that's a desirable service. When you get the confidence that you realize you're really helping people, it's not a sales job. And we all know over the time frame of your career, eventually people are calling you. I heard you helped John. He speaks so highly of how comfortable he feels, how confident. Can I have a conversation with you?
Yeah.
And women are awesome at those conversations. And so I think we just need to start highlighting more, what are the steps of this career? How do we support women in the first steps? How do we get them to see the path and how successful they can be at the path?
That all sounds fantastic. So, earlier today, and that's one of the reasons why I love bringing goRIA to these conferences, is just the access to the people like yourself and everyone else I've been speaking with today. My first guest this morning was Michael Kitces, and we were talking a bit about the bifurcation of sales from planning, right? And as that sales process is getting more and more centralized, especially with the larger firms, they're just looking for planners. You don't have to go out and do the eat what you kill thing. You could just really have a very successful six-figure career as a CFP doing the planning work without ever once having to knock on a door or make a cold call. And I think men and women, young people in general, need to know that, because I think they look at our profession and they're equating it with Wolf of Wall Street. Too much, right? So it's not like you have this big boiler room, people making all these calls. It's a much different environment, super conducive for women as well. And going back to that idea of the great wealth transfer, according to Cerulli, a lot of that wealth is going to women. And I think a lot of those women really want to speak with a woman advisor as well. What do you think about that?
We're hearing that more and more. Certainly in my practice, women-led practice, more women advisors than men. We frequently are attracting a lot of women. And what we're attracting a lot of these days is couples where a husband wants to make sure that his wife feels heard and a part of it. And that is a big transition from what the relationship was 20 years ago, like Michael Kitces talked about this morning, right? Yeah. That change, that evolution. So there is huge demand for women. I look at all young women and say, you're not going to have any trouble finding a position. You're going to get to choose. We just need to be more and more into the profession.
Well, I think the 1-2 between Matt and yourself, getting the young people, getting the women, I think that's really not only a noble thing to do, but our profession desperately needs it, right? As folks like myself are aging out, we need that second generation of talent, young women, young men. I think that's really important work that you guys are doing.
Thank you. Our mission of the CFP Board is to bring more competent, ethical financial planners to the public of the United States. And we realized over time, and certainly as we started the strategic plan, several years ago, that included bringing in the pipeline that's needed. It's not just about providing a certification exam and being able to feel good about once someone has earned this, you're talking to a competent, ethical professional. It's bringing in a lot more of those professionals.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great place to end it for today. Liz Miller, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. And thanks for staying with us here today. We have one more to go at the end of the session. We're going to talk to Kevin Keller, who's going to give us a little wrap-up on the first day's happenings here on this Sunday.
It's going to be a big list.
Absolutely. So stay tuned for that. And on behalf of goRIA, fueled by Investment News, I'm Chuck Vela, and I'll see you in about another hour and a half. Thanks for joining us. Liz, thanks again.